Have you ever had a conversation with someone and immediately the person leaves? All you feel is instant regret because you've shared too much information. You've given out too much information. Having the urge to overshare is not a good thing. It's actually a sign that there's a problem. I'm going to share in today's video what oversharing would do to you as a person and why you need to stop the habit of oversharing. When to overshare or when not to overshare, and who needs that level of openness and who doesn't need that level of openness. Welcome back here again. It's your girl Mona. If you're seeing this cute, beautiful face for the first time, welcome here. Welcome to this space. My name is Mona. On this channel, I share content surrounding skincare reviews, product reviews in general. I also go for that to share a bit about my lifestyle. And also we have like random series like this, small rant series like this, or yap series. I call this Nick's Corner. So I'm gonna drop videos on random topics every week. Today's topic is oversharing. What is oversharing? Oversharing in a layman's word is talking too much. Talking too much is a trait I feel most people have. Most people have. Generally, I won't say everybody, but I'll use the word most people have. And don't look at me like I'm trying to judge you for being an oversharer. No. I have fallen into that trap in fact I can't count this the moment or the amount of times that I've caught myself oversharing. But the whole point of this video is to educate us, also get educated on why do we actually overshare? What is behind oversharing? Is there more to it? Is nobody's holding our neck to actually share this information? We willingly, intentionally open our mouth and bring out this information, and then a few minutes later, we totally regret our actions, and we need to figure out why this is happening, and that is why this video is made. Okay, so we need to learn how to stop giving people access into our personal lives, into our personal business, and this video is going to help us figure it out. Okay. So one thing I need to make clear of is for me, there are most people that have like close friends, really tight friends that they share everything and anything with. You don't fall into this category. Okay. Oversharing, I mean, in this context of this video, is people who would share so much to acquaintance, to strangers, to informations that should not be really publicized. You find yourself doing it. And I'm exempting having a close friend, a sister that you tell everything. I'm not talking about those soulmates. Okay. I'm talking about other persons. Why you need to stop oversharing is number one, it stops your growth. When you overshare or talk about a particular thing over time, you just find yourself not doing it. Two, it clouds your clarity. It clouds your decision. It clouds your thinking process. I don't know if you can really just randomly pick one time you've overshared and remember what you overshared. If every time you overshare, most people, of course, give their opinion, of course, give their 2 cents. Once you've talked about this issue with like so many people, you have like 15 cents. At the end of the day, you end up with like uncleared issues. You have people's opinion. You have people's opinion that you have to stick to. You have to put into consideration. So oversharing, thinking about it, can cloud your emotion, can cloud your clarity. Thirdly, it opens up for judgment and misuse of information. I definitely can regret several times I've overshared and somehow I got judged in that. Rather than going through that process of being scared of how people will use your information, being scared of how people would perceive your problem or how people would judge you, it is better you just sip up and stick to confining in one person or 2% that you trust. But let's talk about why we overshare. Why do you think you overshare? Why do you think you have a thing with oversharing? Lots of reasons, and I'll be talking about each of them in this video. Number one, you might need clarity. Personally, I think I fall into this category. I love to talk because I want clarity. But in fact, I can be on my own and I'm just talking because I just want to process my thoughts, and how I best would how I do that is to, talk out loud. For me, that is how I work, right? Most times I send like voice notes to my friends or hop on conversations just to like process everything I have to do. And somehow by the end of that conversation, I realized that I have clarity. I don't know if this is for everybody, but this is for me. I sometimes share or tend to overshare when I need clarity. And if you're watching me as a friend, you know for a fact that I probably sent you 20-minute voice notes on things that I shouldn't have said at first. Like very careless informations. But I would at the end of the conversation hear me say, "Oh my god, I have my whole day figured out because I've said it out loud." It just helps me connect the dots. Second reason why some people overshare is to get empathy, right? They want to overshare, they want to talk about things for empathy. And they just realize that from talking about one, they've jumped to two, they've jumped to three. They just want people to feel sorry for them. It might be a good thing, it might also be a bad thing. So looking out for or finding empathy is not a bad thing. I definitely have spoken to people where or had conversations that I really needed their empathy. I needed to reason with me. I needed to feel what I was feeling. Okay. But doing it too much, over sharing information to the wrong people, can be from a place of empathy. You probably might be doing it from a place of you need empathy. You might not even be aware that you need empathy, or you're yearning for empathy, or your inner self is yearning for empathy. But that might just be the reason why you are always oversharing. Thirdly, most people overshare because you're empty inside. Emptiness can be a reason why you overshare. You feel empty inside. You feel like you have nothing else to offer. You feel like if you don't talk about this thing, you might be perceived as being bored in a mix of people talking about what is up with them, and you feel the need to talk because if you don't talk or don't say something about you or talk about something personal about yourself, you might not be perceived as someone who is exciting or engaging. I don't know how to put it, but there's this drive of, oh, everybody's talking, everybody has something to say, everybody's talking about their spouses, everybody's saying everything. Let me say something. Let me say something. From saying one thing, you just keep saying and saying and saying and talking because you feel empty inside. So at the end of this video, you can have to do like a assessment on yourself and figure out, why do I actually overshare? Because I'm listing out a couple of things that are the reasons why you might have overshared, or you're someone who you call yourself an oversharer, but that is not really the case. It's actually a call for something else happening inside of you, something else bigger than just you oversharing. So this video will help you navigate that and figure it out. Fourth reason, I'm not sure where I'm at, but yeah, is to get ahead of the situation. I actually feel like people who do this are manipulators. So let's say you've done something bad. Hmm? So you tend to overshare, you tend to talk about it in time so that when it eventually bounces back at you, in your head, you're like, well, I've thought about it, or well, I've told people about it. People try to get ahead of the situation by oversharing. So they tell you things that they think will happen to them, so that when it happens to them, it will be like, well, I said it. I feel like those people or those category of people who tell you things to just get ahead of the situations are manipulators or not. But overshare out of anger or sadness. Maybe they're just sad. Maybe they just want to talk. Maybe they just want to express themselves. Maybe they're really. I've been in that situation where I was overwhelmed with sadness, anger. I wanted to just talk about it, and I was talking about these things to the wrong people, and they used the information against me. I regretted it immediately. But the whole point is being aware, being self-aware of this moment. Some people were shared due to low self esteem and insecurity. This category of people would not agree with it, but you feel like if you don't talk about the good things that's happened to you, people would not respect you. If you've not talked about your achievements yet, people would not notice you. You would like to be the loudest in the room. You like to make sure that you score higher than every other person when it comes to what they are talking about. Maybe everybody's talking about the achievement and everything. You keep sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing just to make sure you match every other person's energy. Like you are desperately in need for people to like you. You want people to like you so bad that the only thing you want them to know about you is good things. So you keep sharing the good things. You keep sharing, you keep displaying, you keep sharing. I know someone like this. Like I've been close to someone like this who really struggled with self. They are still struggling with low self-esteem. For that reason, at every single moment, they are oversharing, they are talking too much, they are giving unsolicited opinion, experience because they want you to feel like you can like them. First impression, they want you to like them. Hundredth impression, they want you to like them. Now, there's a category of people who overshare due to ego, pride. You want to be known as the best. You want to be known as, I think it even relates to the last one I said, but the one, the self ego or the self esteem and ego, the self esteem lies more in you want me to like you. You want people to like you. But the ego part is you want people to place you at the top. You want people to worship you. They're all in for ego. They're all in for pride. They're all in for things that will make them feel prideful. You know yourself. That might be the reason why you overshare. Think. You might not even be aware of these things, but it's just there. Lastly, are people who have no boundaries. You have no boundaries, you have no filter, you have no secrecy, you don't have privacy, you don't know when to stop talking. You just wow. Every single moment you open your mouth and blah, like to the public, to anybody that sees you, you're just like raw. About three major effects of oversharing. Number one, you always feel regrets. At every moment you talk to people, in fact, at every moment you see people, and then you have a little conversation with them and you find yourself oversharing, the next minute you start to feel regret. So there's this constant regret feeling. Always regretting conversations. To always make you regret conversations because you end up always oversharing. Secondly, is you never learn when to stop. You will never learn when to shh. You will never learn when to be quiet. You will never learn when to be silent. That is a disadvantage. You will lose your power to people. People will be able to read through you. They'll be able to see through you. If you've worked with people who know how to read humans, they can spot the manipulators in a group. Like once you do these things too much, once you're always out there, always you want to be likable. People who understand characters, human characters, can spot you. They can read through you. They can tell that you need love, you need attention, you need help, you are lacking something inside, hence why you're in everybody's faces, hence why everybody knows your business. The truth is this: you don't have to be relatable by everybody. Not everybody has to relate with you, not everybody has to know your business. Secondly, is you're allowed to have boundaries no matter the stage of life you're in. Either you're a teenager, you're a child, whatever, you are allowed to have boundaries, and you should start setting boundaries right now. You can have conversations without bringing up any traumatic experience. You can have a conversation without making it about your personality, about what you've gone through, about your experience, about this, about that. You can have a conversation outside you. You can start practicing these things. It is possible for you to have a full blown conversation without involving you. Places you should never, ever, ever overshare. Number one is at work. I know some people around me that I don't know how they do it, but somehow they find their work colleagues friendable. So they tell them deep stuff about them. And I'm like, but maybe I'm just someone who takes boundaries so deeply, but you will not always find me talking about boundaries. Setting boundaries should start in your workplace. Know people for who they are. Put people in a category. Know who your friends are, know who your enemies are, know who your colleagues are, know who your acquaintances are. Put people in a box, just like Toke Makema would say. Put people in a box and then know the kind of information to dish out. You cannot be telling your colleagues personal stuff about you, and they are your colleagues. Even if you eventually want them or have them as your friend or see them as your friends, do they see you as your friend or do they see you as a friend? It's a very good question. So you can go ahead and say, well, I like this colleague of mine, and you tell them stuff about you. Just be sure that they also take you as a friend, because if they don't take you as a friend, it means you're not just oversharing, but you're setting yourself up for disgrace and insult and disrespect. That place you should be careful about sharing or oversharing is social media. Because like you say, internet never forgets. Even if you're a creator, just no boundaries. There's some boundaries with these things. Not overshare. When you want to take a huge step in life, when you want to make a huge decision, learn to not overshare. Pray about it instead. Or share with people that you call friends. Now, these are some tools that will help you stop oversharing. These are some things that helped me stop oversharing. When I want to have a conversation with anybody, I always pause and listen first. And while listening, I'm thinking about what to say. I try to process my thoughts before speaking. Talk about in your head, bring out the topic you talk about before you open your mouth and talk about it. Reassess it inside first before you open your mouth. Secondly, ask yourself the question of, why am I sharing this information? If you don't have the answer to it, don't share it. Third is, if you're someone who is very emotional, you like to get in your feelings and you always like to be heard, the two advice I'll give you that I've done is learn to have like an online bestie. E.g., I always use ChatGPT to just pour out my feelings and it ends there. Or I go to my journal and write it out. Or I record a voice note and send it to myself. Practice being quiet. Most people don't know how to stay alone. Most people don't know how to appreciate silence. I love silence. Work on yourself. If anything I've said today has, ruffled some feathers or has hit you in any way, you need to work on your self-worth. You need to work on yourself. I need to work on myself. We need to work on ourselves. So it's not just you. I'm not judging you. I'm just stating the obvious. If you know you haven't subscribed yet, this is the best time for you to hit the subscribe button. And I'll be making or dropping a video like this once a week on personal growth and self-development. Just once a week. I'm going to call it Nick's Corner. Okay. So look out for the next week video, and trust me, it's going to be something interesting that we will both learn from. And let's just see how, let's just go with the flow. I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you have not subscribed yet, do well to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't liked this video, please like this video and drop a comment on any of these or any of the point I listed that you can relate to. And lastly, share this video.